Hi, my name is Amy Olson and I'm a student at Full Sail University, and this is my TED Talk evaluation for public speaking online. I did my speech on Michael Shermer's On Strange Beliefs. He is the director of the Skeptic Society, and the thesis behind his speech was that humans are quick to forget logical thought processes when presented with unnatural events or circumstances that might be deemed paranormal. His opening segment was sort of a visual, kinesthetic way to kind of involve the audience. He had with him what was called a Quadro 2000 dowser rod, which was being sold to high school administrators for an exorbitant amount of money, purporting that it was able to detect marijuana in high school students' lockers. And he uses this device to get the audience focused and involved on him through visual humor. From then on, Shermer presented visuals and even auditory examples that probably appealed to the different types of learners in the audience. The auditory learners, the visual learners, they all had something to enjoy in his speech. And throughout the entire presentation, he had a wry sense of humor about the things he came across in his career, and the audience seemed to respond to that as well. Essentially, that is one of the commandments that Shermer follows best, the laughter is good commandment. Even though Shermer's area of expertise is ingrained in the sciences, his speech was not a boring lecture or a dry rundown of why human beings are driven to believe in something that is beyond the realm of their own reality. Shermer possessed the ability to inject humor into his speech seamlessly, and the audience picked up on that. So you kind of forgot that it was, just science, or that it was maybe something that you aren't passionate about, because he was passionate about it, and he used humor to involve the audience, and it was a very engaging speech, and it was very fun to watch. With that being said, I would rate Shermer's dynamism at a 4 on a scale of 1 to 5. He was an upbeat speaker with a very energetic way of presenting his information, but again, it's not a 5, it's a 4, because some of his information seemed a bit hurried. The pace was very, very fast. He moved from one example to another in a very fast pace that sometimes the audience had to just be forced to follow along with. When comparing Shermer's speech to Sir Ken Robinson's speeches, the pacing of Shermer's presentation sometimes did not give the audience pause to take in what he was saying. And that is one of the main lessons that I took from Shermer's TED Talk. He had good information to present and an interesting thesis, but it's also important to allow the audience the chance to process the ideas that you're presenting to them. And I always feel that it is important to have a little bit of sense of humor for in your presentation, or with what you're speaking of course, if the subject allows, and to pace that along and balance it with a pace that the audience can follow along with and appreciate as they take in their information.